Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the YouTube channel, the Facebook group, and welcome to those who are on Clubhouse. Every Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m., we go live and we show a live demonstration of QuickBooks Online. Today demonstration, we are going to go over your actual the sales. We're going to do the sales workflow, the sales workflow. Let's put it that way, the sales workflow. We're going to show you how to enter your sales both manually, and we're going to go over all the steps for entering a sale, all the steps for entering an invoice, and all the steps for entering a sales receipt. So we're going to show you the process of entering your sales inside of QuickBooks Online. We're going to go over that process for you. So if you join us on the Clubhouse room, you can just jump on, click the link. And Ingrid, were you able to see the live YouTube video? Let me know. And for those who are in, just want to make sure that if someone clicked the link, they're able to get to the video. So just bear with us while we make sure all the technical issues are working, because you know how it is when we start. Let me do this. With your question, and okay, we will show you live in QuickBooks. All right. So thank you so much, my dear, for testing with me. All right, so we're going to go over the sales. Now, there is two ways you can enter your sales. If you're entering your sales manually, and your sales, you can either do an invoice or you can do a sales receipt. Now, I'm going to go over the difference between the sales receipt and the invoice. Now, right on the navigation bar, hey, Cassandra, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. On the left navigation bar, you'll see sales. It has overview, all sales, invoice, payment link, customer, and products and services. So that's for the sales. Now you can also go over on the right, where the right gear icon, and this will let me see, let me make sure you can enter it from here. So the only thing you would do from the right icon is to make sure you have your product and service listed inside of your QuickBooks before you can create an invoice or a sales receipt. So we had gone over that. So I'm just going to do a quick little, refresher on the process. So what your sales is going to be either your product or your service, right? So in your sales, so if you just go and if you create an invoice, let's show you what happened so let's go to invoice, and we're going to create an invoice. So to create an invoice, you would have had to have products and services inside of your QuickBooks Online before you actually create the invoice. Now you can add it on the fly, which means that you can click on right here and you can add new, or you can set it all the way up. Now let's do one on the fly, and then we're gonna go back. So we're gonna do add new. And this is the window that is going to bring up. This is also the window it's bring up if you add the product or service before. So if you're new to QuickBooks, whether you've never used QuickBooks before, or if you are a desktop person, normally it's called an item. It's the same thing. This is the item. So if you're entering, let's say you're selling books, you're selling cups, mugs, you would enter those as inventory because those are physical product. Let's say you're offering a service. So we click on service and it now opens this window. So the name of the service, and we're always going to do bookkeeping. We're going to call it monthly bookkeeping, right? We're not using a SKU number. If you have an image, you can add the image right here. You can also categorize your products and services. You can do category. And this says, I sell this product or service to my customer. And you can put a description here. And I can put monthly, because I want it to show up. Huh. Oh, that has three E's. Monthly bookkeeping, SERVISE services, and you can put whatever detail. Now, once you put this right here, it your products and services has to go to an income account. And this is where, if you have, you can now change your services name. Let's say we want to see bookkeeping service, we want to see QuickBooks service, but we have an account here to set up a service, which is income. So we add that right there. Now, if you're collecting sales tax, let's show more. If you're collecting sales tax, you can edit that and you can put the account at our the sales tax, right? So this is also if you are purchasing this product or services from a vendor. So purchasing it from someone else. So you're just the person that is dealing with a customer. So I'm not going to check this because we're not purchasing it, and then we do save and close. So now it's populated. Because I did not put a rate in, a rate did not come up. So we're going to say 500. We're going to put the rate in. All right. So why is okay, 500. So it's populated with the $500. This is an invoice. Now, when you create an invoice, the default, we're going to choose a customer. And this customer would have already been set up and their email address. The terms right here is how many days a customer has to pay you. You don't have to do the term. The default term inside of QuickBooks is 30 days. You can go in and you can change it. Let's say I'm giving them 15 days. I want them to pay me in 15 days. The invoice date is today's, due date is going to once you change the term, it changed the due date. Let's show you. Let's say 60 days out. It's going to change it to 60 days out. If you say we want to be paid in 10 days, it's going to change it. Due upon receipt, which means that if you get my invoice today, I want you to pay me today. Will you pay me? I don't know. All right. So this is something that you want to make sure that you know the terms, because if you send me an invoice, you said I have 30 days to pay and I think I want it 30 days, I'm going to pay in 30 days, right? Now, so that is it. The invoice date is here, the date that is due is here. Now the products and services is right here. You can add a message that goes on the invoice. If you did something for the client and you want to add that information here, you can add it here. If you need more than 2 lines, you can do add a line, and it will add you a couple more lines. All right. So now let's say we want to give them a discount. We want to give them 10% discount. It calculates the discount. If you need sales tax, this is defaulted to California, right? Because Intuit is in California, so it's defaulted to California. And this is also a sample company, so it's going to show that you would have set up your company area that you're collecting sales tax for. So if you notice, once you click this drop down button, if you have more than one sales tax region, you can click on whichever one is there. So it does the so now it calculates on here. Another thing that you can do if you want to charge the sales tax on the subtotal as opposed to the discounted total, there's an arrow right here. You can move that arrow up, and the sales tax will be charged on this total as opposed to this one. And then the 10% is there. Now you can also do a discount value amount. Let's say you give in $25. You can put an amount instead of a percentage. So give you the option to put in a dollar amount, or you can do a percentage. No, we ain't giving you no. As a matter of fact, we give you 5%. I mean, right? We're gonna give you only 5%. All right, guys. Please, if you have any question before I go on, if you have any question, please feel free. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, please feel free to put in the chat if you have a question. I'll be more than happy to look at the question. If you're inside of the clubhouse room, you can put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, no back channel, because it's much harder to get to the back channel than the chat. So now this invoice is created, and you notice it says balance due is 520, right? Because it takes it added the taxes, and then it takes the discount. So now the balance is 520. So this invoice, once you save, you can hit save and send. Now you have option. You can either save and close. You can save and share the link, which means that if you save and share the link, I'm not sure it's going to do this inside of the sample company. Please remember, I'm working inside of a sample company, and some stuff are not live, so it will not, probably won't go there. So you can save and close, and let's say you're doing another invoice, you can do save and new. So we're going to try this save and share inside the sample company and see how that works. Let's see if it allows us. So now it gives you the link. You can copy the link, right? And once you copy the link, you can send it to the customer, and they will be able to open this invoice, and they can also pay. All right. So that gives you the link. Then you can share the link. You can save and send. When you save and send, it will send an email to the customer, and they'll be able to open that email, open a copy of the invoice, and if they're going to pay you using a card, they can pay straight on the invoice. Now be aware that if you are not set up with QuickBooks payment, you will not be able to collect the payment unless you're set up with your merchant account. And that's something we can go over at a later date. So we're going to save and close. Now, what happened to this invoice? Now we're going to go to the report. So the invoice is going to show up somewhere in here if it allows me to do it. So here is the invoice right here. So we send the invoice, and the customer now is going to pay us. So the process, we're going to go through the process, and then we can look at some report and stuff like that. So the process is that you send the invoice. Now the customer can, if the customer pays with QuickBooks Online, you have nothing else to do. Or I should say, most of your work is going to be done. If they pay with QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks is going to go in and mark this as paid, and they're going to do the deposit. So the process is they're going to receive the payment, and then after they receive the payment, they're going to deposit it to your bank account. That's where you have everything set up and QuickBooks will do all of that for you. Now, if you do not have that set up and the customer sends you a check, they send you a check. You can't see the document. Which of the documents you're not able to see? Cassandra, which of the documents you're not able to see? Let me. All right. I can't see the document. I'm not sure which document you're not able to see. So if you tell me which one you're not able to see, I'll see. So I'm going to look for the answer. All right. So we're actually showing. Are you on YouTube, Cassandra? Are you looking at this on YouTube? Let me know. All right. So if I have to go back over it, I will. But we're going to go until you answer, Cassandra. All right. So once you receive the payment, and we're going to do this as that they send us a check. So let's say that they send us a check. The customer sent us a check, right? We're going to do receive payment. Now, if the customer sends us a check, okay. All right, Cassandra. So click on the link above our heads. And when you go to the link tree, there's going to be a link that says YouTube. Click on that, and then it will take you to my YouTube channel where you'll see the live demonstration. All right, so we're receiving the payments. So now that we go to receive payment, it's going to show us, it's going to actually show us, hold on, let me uncheck. So it shows us all the invoice that's open for bill WinServe. It shows us all the invoice that's open. So now we're going to click on this one because they sent us a check. It now gives you the option to choose the payment method. So we're going to choose the payment method. If the client is on the phone or they send you their card information, I'm going to show you how to receive a payment if you're going to use a card, American Express cash. So we're doing a check. So customer sends us a check. Now, the easiest way, okay, great, Cassandra. The easiest way to explain this is that when you get the check in your hand, it's not in the bank. So you see where it says deposit to? If you're going to the bank right away, that's a shortcut. You could probably just click on here and put it to the account that you're going to. But normally you get the check, you don't take it to the bank right away. So it shows up in undeposited funds. Undeposited fund. So you check it, you receive the payment, because it's like you got the check, you put it in a drawer. You didn't go to the bank right away, right? So once you do that, now you can do save and close, because you receive the invoice, you send the invoice. Once you send the invoice, you now get the money. You have the money. You have the check in your drawer. So the undeposited fund is your drawer that you have the money in. So you're going to do save and close. So now the invoice is showing as paid, right? But that money is in your drawer, and you want to now deposit that money. You want to take that money to the bank and deposit it. The old way that we normally do is we write up a deposit ticket. So we still want to do a deposit ticket to show that we deposit the money in the bank. You can go right here to new, and right here where it says bank deposit, and in the These are all the money that you have received, right? These are the money that you receive, and they're sitting in your drawer. Now, if you wanted to deposit all these checks at the same time, you can just click on them because that's the money that you're going to deposit. And your deposit is now 25.83. Now, once you do this, you got to remember when it shows up in your bank feed that you did a deposit that's all the transaction in them, not just one, right? So when you click on here, you are now saying, okay, we are going to save and close because we make the deposit. We go to the bank and we take the deposit. You notice right here is showing that the deposits change. So the money, we receive the money, then we take it to the bank and it's deposited. When this shows up, this account shows up, and that's one of the reasons why I say when we are inside of the sample company, it's not going to give us the live bank feed. That is going to show up in your bank feed. The deposit is going to show up right here inside of your bank feed. Because you already created a deposit ticket inside of QuickBooks, now it's going to show up and said match. It's going to show up with a match. So you now can match it because it's inside of QuickBooks. That's how you enter your invoice and make sure everything is entered inside of QuickBooks. The unfortunate thing is that most people that use QuickBooks do not go in and enter stuff manually. They wait until their bank feed populate. So we're going to go over how you do that when your bank feed populates. So you send an invoice, you did not do the receive payment, right? You did not create a deposit ticket. None of that was created. You just went in and you sent an invoice, right? So we went over the step of how the correct way to do it, or the way that it should be done. Because most people say, oh, but it can be. Yes, it can be done that way too. But this is the way that you do it. You send the invoice, receive the payment. Once you receive the payment, you create a deposit ticket. When it goes to the bank, then it's in the bank, and then you can match it. That's the process, right? Now, let's say that you went in and you created an invoice, right? We're going to do another invoice just because we can do it, right? Let's use this one. Let me see if any here can be matched to it. So let's say this invoice, we created this invoice. It due in 4 days, but the client sends you the money and it went straight to your bank account. So it turns up in your bank account, right? Turns up in your bank account. It's not matching to anything. What you want to do, if you already have the invoice inside of QuickBooks, you might want to go back and at least, because when you created the invoice, when you create the invoice in here, it goes to your sales account, your income account, and then it's sitting down inside of accounts receivable. So let me see if this one will open for me, and see if let's see if we can edit. Okay, I want to edit the invoice. Let's see. View or edit. All right. This is already linked to something. Okay. This is already. So what you might want to do is go in and do the receive payment. If you're not doing the full process, at least hit on the receive payment. And if you're not going to do a deposit ticket, click on here and click the account that you want the money is going to go to. Right? Click on here and click on check-in. That way the money is going to be deposited to the checking account, and then you will not have the problem of making a duplicate entry. So Or because if you leave this as undeposited funds, this is not going to, it's going to show up in your, it's going to show up on your balance sheet as a number that's sitting there and you don't know how to clear it. So it's, this has to, you got to make sure. So if you're doing it straight from your bank account, make sure your invoice, your actual invoice is saying when you do the receive payment is showing to the checking account. Another way that you can do that is when the deposit shows up in your bank account, you can click on the bank account and do find match, and it will look for that same amount with that, you put a customer name, it will look for that information, and then you can match the transaction. You don't want to add it again to your QuickBooks Online. I hope that that is making sense to everyone. And some of these won't make sense, but you know, after you do, once you start to do it, you come back to this YouTube video, watch it, and it will be, you'll be able to do it. So that is how you enter your invoice when you create an invoice. So let's go back. So that's one way of entering it. Now, the other way is, so your sales, your invoice is for people who you're going to send, you send those people like on a monthly invoice, or what else we can think of. Like you have a customer that you, it's a repeat customer, you want to make sure you send them an invoice. Now, let's go back to the invoice because I wanted to also show you it. Let's do this one. Let's see if we can do this one, or action. And we're going to receive payment. So I show you how to use the payment as cash or credit. Cash and check is the same. Now, if you do Visa, and this is not going to allow me to do it, it won't allow me to do it here. No. American Express, nope. Okay, so in your live company, once you click on the payment method of Visa, any of the credit cards, what it will do, it will open a new window for you to enter the credit card information. So you can actually accept the credit card over the phone, or they can fill out the credit card authorization form, giving you authorization to apply the payment. So you can also do that. And this will not open it because this is not live inside of QuickBooks. In order for you to take the payment, you have to be signed up with QuickBooks Merchant, which is a QuickBooks payment. And then you'll be able to click on Visa. It gives you the information. You add the card information, just like if you're paying for something online. You add the card information, the card, the date, the expiration date, and the CVV. You add all of that in there. It gives you an authorization form that you can send to your client and have them sign it, and that way you can accept the payment. So that's accepting a cash, a credit card payment, whether it's Amex, Discovery, any kind of credit card, you can accept that payment. But you have to be signed up with QuickBooks Online payment processing system. It's actually a merchant account that you can sign up. The fees are equivalent to whatever you'd pay for PayPal or most third-party system. All right, so that is one way of receiving payment. We went over the cash way, we went over the credit card way, cash, credit card, and then we deposit it. If you're using a payment processing system, it's going to go to your straight to that payment processing, and then you can transfer the money to your bank account. All right. So we're going to close this one because so that's one way of sending your customer invoice is invoice. The next thing is the Lord. We can do a sales. Okay, this is going to give us that. We need a new sales receipt. Now, this is the other way that you can send an invoice to your customer. It's called a sales receipt. What that is that it's going to be a cash. This is when you sell someone cash. if you're selling like books, if you're selling like, stuff that it's not like a repeat customer, they're just going to purchase, it's like a one-time purchase. You want to do it as a sales receipt. And most of the time when you do a sales receipt, so we're going to do a sales receipt, we're going to do for Diego. This is where you can also do the payment method. And this is not going to, you can collect the payment right there. You can, if you're like at a show, you can also do cash. However they pay you, you can do it that way. Now, this is, the money has to be collected because it's not going to send them a way to pay. You have to collect that money, right? Like the invoice, you can send it to them and they pay. It's the same thing. And then we're gonna look what products and service they have in here. We're gonna sell them some pump for $15. We're gonna put some sales tax on it, and then that's it. And once, this is like a receipt, so once you send it, it's gonna say you can put the money straight to your checking. You can, if you're collecting the money and then deposit it, you can put it to deposit to undeposited funds. This is very important when you are setting up your QuickBooks, where you want your money to go before it actually goes to the bank. If you want it to go straight to the bank account, or if you want it to go to undeposited fund because you're going to pool money together and make a deposit. So now we want this to go to undeposited funds, right? And then we can do save. You can send this, or we're just going to do save and close. And let's see if this, don't, all right. We're trying to find that invoice we just did because it's going to show up as paid. All right, so that did not, let's do it again. We're gonna do it right again. And that one you do from new, sales receipts. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I was looking at the wrong place. All sales. All sales. In order to see your sales receipt, you got to go to the tab that says all sales. We were in invoice, so it's only going to show those invoices. And if you notice right here, it's going to say paid. Right here, it's going to show paid. Right. And if you look at all sales right here, you'll see this invoice that says paid and then the payment. Another way that QuickBooks do this receipt, sales receipt, is if you go to the bank feed and you enter like a payment that was received, sometime QuickBooks will create, if you enter it as sales. Let me see. This is one thing I don't like now about this sample company. They usually give us transaction that we can play around with. So let's do create. If we categorize this to income, let's see if it will do it for us. If not, all right. So we're going to call this, Lord, that's not it. Landscape service. And we're going to add it. So we're going to do add. Now, if you go to your reports, and I'm going to go to the profit and loss and go to landscape service. And let's find an invoice. Now, I don't remember how much it is. See this one right here? See, it's showing up right here. It's just going to be showing up as a deposit. And if you notice right here, it shows sales receipt, cash. Oh, that's not the one that we want. This one right here. It's not going to show up with a name. It's just going to show up as landscape services. So the added information that you need to actually make a decision in your business, you wouldn't know who did you sell it to, what method. It's just going to show up as a deposit because all you did was click it, you was put it from your bank, and it shows up as a deposit. All right. Any question? Any question? Please feel free to raise your hand, come to the stage, ask your question. If you are in the clubhouse room, you can put your question inside the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer any question as it relates to sales invoice or sales receipt and the receiving process, the process of receiving the invoice. Any question, we will take your question now. Any question? Or you can put them in the chat. We'll take it if you have any question. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I hope I said it right. Stephanie. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Rashida. Thank you, Ingrid, for coming in, hanging out with me on this Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I open up QuickBooks, go in, and actually show you how to do some stuff. If you have a question, if you have something specific that you want to see, we'd be more than happy. We'd be more than happy to open the sample company and show you. However, if it's something that is very sensitive and we're not able to demonstrate it live in the sample company, feel free to hit the link. There's a 15-minute session that I'll be more than happy to jump on the phone with you for 15 minutes and to look at what your question is, your concern, and we'd be more than happy to help you. Listen, guys, I've been doing QuickBooks for over 25 years. I'm an accountant of 34 years. So most things I'm able to answer. However, some things are unique to your company. So sometimes it's best to look to see what it is that's inside of your company. So if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you have an online business or brick and mortar even, or you are an author and you need help with setting up your bookkeeping and accounting, coming up this April 25th, I do have a QuickBooks, not QuickBooks, Organize Your Business Finance Challenge. We're also going to go over QuickBooks. I will drop the link below the video for the challenge. Challenge is going to be next week. The 25th is going to be a 5-day Organize Your Business Challenge. You can click on the link in the clubhouse. Go to my link tree. There is a link in there for the challenge. Make sure you sign up. It's going to be not next week, the 25th, the week of the 25th. And we're going to go for 5 days. Yes, not next week, the following week. We're going to go for 5 days. We're going to share ways that you can organize your business finance so that you can make sure that you are ready for tax time. We're just about wrapping up tax time, okay? And I see Carly to jump back in the room. We're just about ready, wrapping up the room. But thank you, Carlita, for coming back in. Listen, we can tell you a horror story from here till tomorrow about getting ready for tax time. As a small business owner, it is required, IRS require you to make sure that you're keeping records, because if you take deduction, they want to know, they want to see, they want to be able to say, okay, these deduction are ordinary and necessary. I got the word. It's ordinary. It has to be ordinary and necessary. Sometimes we see some deduction that it might not be ordinary, or it might be necessary but not ordinary. It might not be the same thing that other businesses say, but you still might be able to deduct it. But you have to prove to the IRS that your business, that particular item or that particular expense is necessary for your business. Hey, Carlita, you want to chime in? Ingrid, if you have any question, thank you, Casey, Stephanie, and Rashida. And for those who are on the YouTube channel, thank you so much for coming in. And for those who are in the Facebook group. So, Carlita, you want to chime in? I see. Okay, you're just listening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're getting ready to wrap up here. If we have no question, oh, I just got the red bar. If you have no question, go ahead. Okay, so the challenge, we're going to show you the different aspect of organizing your business finance. And one of that is your QuickBooks. We're going to show you how to make sure that your QuickBooks. We're not doing a full QuickBooks challenge where we're going to be just doing QuickBooks. No, it's not just going to be QuickBooks, because one of the things that just the question you asked, most time people think that when it comes to doing their bookkeeping or setting up their finances, it's just the QuickBooks or the record keeping. It's a little bit more than that. It's the compliances. You got to make sure you have the right business structure. It's making sure that you have your sales tax set up. You have there's more to your making sure your business finances is in order. QuickBooks or doing their QuickBooks is one thing. We could probably do a challenge around just doing your QuickBooks. How about that? What do you think, Carlita? That would be a separate thing if we do just your QuickBooks. Carlita, what do you think? Couldn't we do a challenge around QuickBooks? How to set up your QuickBooks? All about QuickBooks. What do you think, guys? In the chat, put it in the chat. What do you all think? Yes, we could do a chat. No, we ain't gonna give no prize. Yeah, we could do a challenge that just consists of you showing the different aspect of QuickBooks. But that's something that we would definitely have to put together. 5-day challenge. Give me a name. Y'all can give me a name, and I'll do it. I'm up for it. What do you think? If I get a nice sassy name, you know what? I'll do it, but not for this time, because doing a challenge it does takes a lot when it comes to preparing for it and having all the things together. The challenge is it. The challenge is it, because from the challenge you have the option of either taking my I have training, different training that's available after the challenge that one can actually get. But no, we're not doing no training prior to the challenge. We're just gonna do the challenge. You sign up for the challenge, and the challenge is actually to show you some of these things and how you can fix them. We'll probably show you, you know, a tip of how you can fix them. We're not going to show you everything. We're going to give you. I will think about it. We'll think about that one. Usually we share 5 tips with you in the challenge. 5 things. How the challenge work is that we will have 5 areas that we will show you within the challenge that is going to you're going to be able to use whatever we share to help you with your with it. And we have worksheets that you can do. So, okay, this is the problem. If there's something that you have in addition to that, then you can come ask your question. Usually, if you come to the challenge with your question, most of the time, if not all, you'll get your question answered. The key to that is to make sure you show up every day and apply what is taught in the challenge. But if you have like specific things that you think that you want to see, you could send them and we could include them. And then that would be a part of the challenge, because that area, that specific area that you think that is challenging, you could send it and we would include it as a part of the challenge. All right. All right, guys. I see I'm getting a red bar. I don't know if I'm still I'm still here. All right. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Carlita. Carlita, we will catch up. Thank you, Rashida. Thank you, Casey. And thank you, Ingrid. As always, guys, we are here Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we share. If you want to see the live demonstration, it's on YouTube. For those who are on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, turn on your notification, and subscribe to the channel so you can know when we do another new video, because we do them every Tuesday. All right, over here on YouTube, have a great rest of your day. The link will be below the video for the challenge next week. Also below the video, if you are not using QuickBooks and you would like to use QuickBooks, there will be a couple links below the video where you can get the discount. There's several discounts you can get. The link will be below the video. Along with that, there's going to be the you can, if you have any question, put your question. I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'll come back and look at the video, answer the question. Also, if you need a 15-minute session with me, that link is also below the video. So bye from YouTube until next week.